Well, welcome everyone to our weekly webinar, Soul Changes Lives. I am your host. I am Debbie Perez Cockburn. I have been with Soul Naturals 8 years exactly, almost 9 now. So I'm very, very excited to have you all on with us this week. I just want to do a quick reminder. None of the panelists here are doctors. We do not offer medical advice. We are, however, offering you our best advice on natural health using Soul Natural products and how they can help you change your life as it has with ours. This is a webinar that we do every week, usually has 3 sections. The first section is usually a testimonial, and then we have a product section with our CEO and one of the founders of Soul Natural, Greg Halliday. And then we also have a third section called How Bright Does Your Soul Shine? And but this week we are going to focus on a presentation that Greg did. It is a little bit longer, and so I don't want to take away from that. I want you to enjoy that, so I will forego the How Bright Does Your Soul Shine section this time. And to start, I am your testimonial today. So many of you who are at convention had the chance to hear my grandnephew, who is now 10 years old. I wanted to let you know that he started using Soul products 7 years ago. So he was about 3 years old. At that time, his mother, she is married to my nephew. His mother, Jessica, actually noticed that he was having issues. And so she took him to a doctor and they diagnosed him with autism, like they do to a lot of young boys nowadays anyway. But he really had severe problems where he would flap his hands a lot and he would scream. He really wouldn't articulate. He had tendencies of OCD. So whenever he would play with his toys, they had to be lined up by color. All of his books had to be just so and laid out. But his big problem was just the flapping of the hands and the screaming. So I do remember that his mom called me right after she went to the doctor, and they told her that my little grandnephew was autistic and where he was on the spectrum. And so I love my family like all of you do, and I recommended the products that Soul had at that time. We didn't have all of the products that we have now. So it was just probably a little over 7 years ago. It was quite at the beginning when I started using Soul that they called me and let me know about this problem. And his older brother, Gabriel, who was also at convention with us this last week, he had problems with, it's funny because his name is Gabriel and he was a little Gabby. We call him Gabby. And his teacher was really upset because she says he is ADHD. He cannot be in class without any kind of medication. We just won't tolerate it. And every day the teacher would just write terrible notes in his notebook. So of course, you know, this girl, the wife of my nephew, called me, and she obviously was very upset about everything that was going on with her 2 boys and asked me, what can I do? What can I do for my children to help them feel better? So of course, like I said, Soul did not have all of the products that we have now. I recommended that she use the Soul Vital, the Cinemate, which is what we had, the 2 drinks. He was taking the Vertizymes, the ProBio IQ, and using our essential oil blends at night in a diffuser and also in the bath. So she started doing this religiously, and they also were using the Soul Megas at that time. So that was really amazing. And she started giving it to them every day without any problem. So 2 weeks after she started with the program, her littlest boy, Hector, already had a therapist coming to the house. And people at the bus stop, when she would walk Gabe to school in the morning to the bus, some of the mothers noticed and said, Jessica, Hector isn't flapping his arms anymore. And she said, oh yeah, that's right. So that week when the physical therapist came in to work with him, said, what medication does the doctor have him on? Because he's not flapping his hands. He still had a little bit of the OCD tendencies and such, but he really started making greater improvements as the time went on. So a month down the road of having used the products, now Gabe gets a letter in his notebook from the teacher that says, oh, Gabriel is a great student. He listens, he's quiet, all they were doing was using Soul with him. But the physical therapist was the best report that we had, because when physical therapist started looking at little Hector, he just said, that's really amazing. He's not screaming, he's not flapping his arms. His sensory was really within range. So he was no longer having to color code his trucks and toys and school books and things like that. And we saw last week when Jordan Peterson, Vice President of US Sales in Canada, invited Hector on stage to share his story, how articulate Hector was, and how just you would never know by looking at him that he ever had any problems. Today, he actually has his own YouTube channel. He puts me to shame. He is just such a sweet boy. And all of you who saw him at convention know that I'm not exaggerating. When he was on stage and gave his testimonial and said, Jordan asked him, what products are your favorites? And he said, well, you know, the green ones, and I take them as drinks. So he loved that. And they asked him why he loves Soul. And at 10 years old, he said, because they make you feel good and Soul changes your life. And so I wanted to share that testimonial with you today. I hope it is helpful to you. If you know of children who are struggling with the where they are on the spectrum of autism or ADHD, everyone can be helped, because these products are mind and body products. And so they really do help children in their development. And I just wanted to share that testimonial with you again, because we did get a lot of questions after convention. So I thank you for your time. All right, so this week, Greg is going to give a presentation that he did for us at the convention, and it is about our 4 foundational products. Those of you who know me know that I am in love with our drinks. I think that they are essential to our body for finding health and for finding balance. And Greg is going to tell us a little bit more detail about how those 4 drinks work and what areas of the body are really, I want to say affected, that's probably not the best word, but are strengthened by using the 4 drinks. Thanks, Greg, for being with us.
Thank you, Debbie, and good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see you and great to be here with you today. I sure love talking about ways we can help people change their life. It was really neat. I just want to say one thing about Hector. We didn't know he would be at convention, and I was surprised. He was going around asking for autographs of all the Soul, because his life is so different. And I just wanted to give him a hug. I mean, the autograph, you know, that's, but what a cute kid. And I was shocked. I actually didn't know Jordan was going to ask him to come on stage. But you're right, Debbie, no one would know what he went through, because he was calm, happy. He was, what a sweet kid. I don't think I stopped smiling for a half hour after hearing, because that just makes me feel so good. That's why we do what we do, isn't it? So this is the presentation that I gave. Hopefully you can see it. I'll just start this. Well, this was what our convention backdrop was. It was sort of helping everyone find that superpower, that superhero within. We believe that everyone has amazing gifts. And when we have good nutrition in our life and we're happy, we can find those gifts and we can help other people with them. So that's what Soul United was about. That was the theme of the convention. And I was asked to talk about the 4 signature drinks. So a lot of times people will say, why? Well, first of all, what are they? These are the 4 signature drinks. And why do we have 4? Why exactly 4? Why did Soul structure our products this way? So if you're newer listening to the recording of this, or if you're on live today, the top one you see, Soul Vital, was the first signature drink that was created. And then the red one, Cinnamate, was second. And then Soul Excel, the yellow one, was third. And the last one was Soul Renew. These are the 4 signature drinks, and they each cover a broad category in our structure of health, which is, as Debbie said, more than just fixing physical problems. In fact, we feel like nowadays that's not enough more than ever. It's just not enough because there are some big differences in our time. A lot more chemicals, a lot more processed foods, a lot more electrical, from cell phones to cell towers to just a lot more, let's just call it interference in the world, and more connected, busy, information-packed lifestyle. So more stresses, kids feel stresses. When I think of kids like Hector, you know, and what they see nowadays and go through, I am just grateful that this world is cram-packed with amazing plants that I believe were created so that we can receive nutrition from them. We can supplement and we can shore up those imbalances. We can sort of plug holes in the diet. And that is why we have the signature drinks, because they each have a certain job in bringing us back into balance. So I kind of presented at convention the 4 answers to why we have 4 signature drinks. I'll just give you 4 reasons, okay? The first reason, I just mentioned it, because Soul was created to do more than just fix physical problems. Soul was created to also nourish emotional and cognitive needs. Most people believe that they can improve their physical health with nutrition. Most people don't know that nutrition can have just as great an influence on our emotions if we get the right nutrition and if we get enough. So that is why there are 4 signature drinks, because this is not a simple issue, it's a very complex issue. And so the colors represent ways that we can bring balance. Green is an overall balanced approach with a little bit of everything. Red is lifting or stimulating or warming, speeding up processes that have become slowed and bogged down. Blue is calming, centering, and removing anxiety so the body can heal. And yellow is about cleaning, cleansing, and detoxing, opening up the pathways so energy can flow. And those are the basic purposes of the 4 signature drinks. So reason number 1 is because they address emotional needs, and we need these, all 4 of these. Reason number 2 is that these drinks, they are designed for daily use. They're actually designed to be nutritionals, not just like a medication, you know, for an imbalance, but they're all very loaded in nutrition. Each one of these 4 drinks, so this is just what they look like when you mix them up. You can see Soul Vital here, and this one over here is Excel. This is Renew, and this is Cinemate. Okay, so they're all very broad. They have many, many vitamins and nutrients, but they each have a specific targeted energy. As I just mentioned, calming or lifting or clarifying, their energy is specific. And they're put in drink form because of the need to change our nutrition. If nutrition is supposed to give our body and our mind what we need to go through life, that's not going to stay the same, is it? It is going to change depending on what comes into our life, what we're going through, whether chemicals and things need to be detoxed. So what we believe is that we have vibrant health, and I will define vibrant health as balance along with energy. So plenty of energy, but also balance. That's, to me, vibrancy or vibrant health. These drinks are designed for vibrant health, not just like adequate, but like to bring some vibrancy. We think that we get that case, that situation in our life when we have the right quantity of nutrients in our life, the right quality, because a higher quality makes a big difference in our body, and the right variety. Those 3 things. So again, think back to the 4 drinks. This is why 4 of them, because of the variety that's needed. And in drink form, we can adjust them. We can take more or less. I'm sure when Hector was little, he didn't need to drink as much because he was little. He was 3 or 4. And as we get bigger, we're going to need to generally drink more. Okay. So that's our second reason, because they are balanced, but they have a different targeted energy. Now, the third reason, okay, that we have these 4 signature drinks is because our strategy to health is very complex, and we desire to simplify it with 4 options, okay, and 4 tools for our daily nutrition in these 4 signature drinks. The reason I say our philosophy is complex is because we're not just trying to address a physical need, like fix a problem, high blood pressure or inflammation or inflamed sinuses or, any problem like that. We're actually at the same time trying to modulate those vital organs in our body and bring balance. We don't want to just address a symptom. Usually a symptom is a message from our body that something's out of balance. We want to look at the core issue. And to do that, you need a variety of adaptogens. And that's why we chose to put adaptogens in all the Soul formulas. So regardless whether someone's situation is, with the 4 drinks, we wanted something that will help individuals with all of their individual situations, and whatever their most urgent need is, will address that in a broad way. And I can tell you the 4 signature drinks cover all the major areas of health and balance. Now, they don't cover everything, but they cover all the major processes that we know of in the body. Okay, so what's the last reason? The last reason we have 4 signature drinks? Well, it comes down to adaptogens. We have seen that when you combine adaptogens with other good complementary herbs, the body uses those herbs better. They're more targeted. We get a greater result for the same amount of herbs. So since we're all different, since our life always changes and our needs change, these 4 drinks provide 4, think of like a compass with north, south, east, and west. Each of these 4 drinks fills a direction, fills a horizon. And there are 4 ways that we can bring balance in a simple way. But because of the adaptogens in them, they won't force the body down a wrong path. They actually work with the body. Many, of course, drugs, prescription drugs, et cetera, and over-the-counter drugs, they are synthetic molecules that force a result, force a change is a better way of putting it. And sometimes it causes problems, increased problems. Very often it does. But adaptogens, because they're modulating, they have active ingredients on both sides of imbalance, whether the balance is overactive or underactive. And therefore, they don't force the body. They just provide a variety that the body can pull from, depending on its needs. So these are the 4 reasons. I hope those are clear. I know it's a lot of philosophy, but this is why we have 4 signature drinks. I wanted to show you next, when people ask me, okay, well, what does each drink do? This is what if I want to say it in just a couple of sentences and show them what this drink affects in our body, here is what I share with them. And hopefully these slides are useful to you. So if I now begin to drink Soul Vital, what can I expect to see? Well, first of all, Soul Vital immediately nourishes your core, your heart, your lungs, your digestion, your kidney, those vital organs that so often get out of balance. Soul Vital enlivens the organs because of the mineral content, because it improves hydration and improves blood oxygen with chlorophylls as well, and replenishes what we deplete in life in these vital organs that you see here. So you can see liver and kidneys and digestive tract really in total, and the mind balancing out our mood and our emotions. Our mood is energized with Soul Vital because of the adaptogens. There are 6 concentrated adaptogens that are very balanced, some that are calmers, some that are lifters, some that actually clarify and help our body rid itself of toxins. So that's Soul Vital. When I have Soul Vital in my diet every day, overall, you can kind of see the glow around the body silhouette is symbolizing my energy will lift. So some people will tell you, oh, Soul Vital is my energy drink. Doesn't have any stimulants, but energy will improve with Soul Vital. Sometimes we think, oh, if a little energy is good, I'm just going to take more and more and more. And sometimes there's a need to take more than one packet of Soul Vital. But I would just ask you to consider today thinking of adding the other drinks as well to bring balance to what we're doing. So Cinnamate is the second drink. Cinnamate is about bringing energy to your day, especially targeting the way your body manages sugar and the blood sugar. So that is why we call it digestive energy. Cinnamate helps us focus our mind. It elevates our smile. It has over 200 vitamins, minerals, and amino acids and other compounds known to be beneficial. So it provides enough nutrition to meet our daily needs and then some. So no matter what our demands are, adding Cinnamate in is a boost of what I would call clean energy that over time strengthens and builds. And notice that if we combine it with Soul Vital, that energy around us gets even bigger because we're now from two different directions taking nutrition into our day. Now, the third drink is Soul Renew. If I explain Soul Renew in a couple of sentences, I say this: reset, relax, restore your cells, herbs that relax your body and your muscles and calm your mind. Renew has adaptogens that mitigate anxiety and nervousness. So they're herbs for rebuilding. When the body has calm and an opportunity, then it can rebuild. If it's fighting stress constantly, it can't rebuild and things become more chronic. Calm is required to rejuvenate ourselves, body and soul. And that's why you'll notice Renew, along with each one of the drinks, always highlights the brain, because what it does is lessen anxiety and nervousness so that we can have a calmer mind, okay? And notice that our energy with Renew gets, of course, even brighter because we're now from three different approaches, three different directions, bringing nutrition and energy into our body. Now, the fourth drink is called Soul Excel. That's in our yellow category. Now, remember I mentioned that's about cleansing and cleaning. Well, when a person uses Excel nutrition every day, lungs are clearer, liver is a chance to clear, our glands, you can see the thyroid there highlighted, can improve. In other words, when I talked about vibrant health, combining balance with energy, the flow, free flow of energy, Excel helps in that. It helps remove blockages that get in the way of our flow of energy. So we clarify our mind, our circulation, our respiration, improve vision and nerve communication, all of this with Soul Excel, and we restore glandular balance, energy, and performance. So again, with just like the other drinks, Excel has its role, and then you can kind of see the overall energy is greater. So this is how we look at Soul. If you ask me why 4 signature drinks, I hope that these graphics kind of explain how we look at them. They all bring a part of energy that if we delete it, it won't be there for our overall balance and energy. With it, then we can maximize our energy because they all play different roles. So what I have next are 3 ideas on how you can keep the drinks in your life. Not everyone feels like they can drink all 4 of them every day. I can tell you that I do. I have for 10 years now. And I can tell you, some of you know me, I used to have asthma. I haven't used my inhaler since we started Soul. I used to, I was 20 years in another herb company, and I was able to go from using my inhaler the whole spring and summer and fall to maybe using it 2 or 3 times a year on a really bad day because of the other herbs that I had been using. That was how significant my change was. But once I began using these signature drinks and the Soul products, nourishing both body and mind, I haven't had to use a single time my inhaler. In fact, I finally threw it out because it expired, the date expired, and I just haven't bought another one. So this first calendar is, I call it transform, because if you're using all 4 of the drinks, you're drinking 1 packet of these every day, your body has extra nutrition that it can use to heal, to transform to a better place from where you currently are. So you can see these are the little colors are the drinks. Soul Vital is the V, Cinnamate is the red, Excel is the yellow and Renew is the blue. Notice the AM and PM. It's different for everyone, but as a general rule, Sol Vital and Cinemate are great in the morning, Excel in the early afternoon, and Sol Renew at nighttime. Now, please don't be upset at me if you try one and you want to switch the time of day, because you need to see what your certain situation is and listen to your body. So you can place them in the time of day that best works for you, but this is very common. And they can also be combined. For instance, my wife combines these two and drinks them in one drink. So this Transform, this may be a habit that I go through for a few months when I'm trying to change something and transform my health. It may be something that I do a couple of times a year. If you're able to, like Debbie shared earlier, I saw her talking about the 100 packs. If I'm sharing Sol and doing things where I'm working with it, then I'm able to make my business about this, and I can easily myself, I have an income so that I can maintain myself on the 4 drinks. So Transform is really the high nutrition. Some people, that doesn't work for them. So here's another idea. We call this the Good Life. In the Good Life example, you pick 2 of the drinks that have the biggest effect on you right now. So it might be, in this case, Sol Vital and Cinemate. And those 2 drinks you never miss. You do those every day at the time best for you. The other 2 drinks, in this case, Sol Renew and Excel are the other 2 drinks. You just rotate them so that at the end of every week, I can look at it and I can see that I am still bringing nutrition in all 4 areas into my body. So I'm maintaining that balance. So that to me is another very good strategy. If that still seems like a little much, then I also have a calendar that I like to call the daily favorite. This is where you look at the drink that you cannot miss. Like Debbie said, maybe it's Cinemate. In this example, Cinemate is the drink that we never miss. We have a Cinemate every day. And then we rotate all the other drinks. So still in this example, I can finish a week and I've still been using all of the signature drinks in my life. This is something that we recommend because over time, adaptogens modulate. Over time, all of these are very high in vitamins and minerals. Your body will build those up and it's able to progress on bringing balance to even long-time chronic situations if we give it a constant, a consistency. I mentioned about having vibrant health, we need to have enough quantity, quality, and variety of nutrition. And this is a great example. There are times when I know I have certain circumstances that need more. I can always increase temporarily these drinks. They're very easy to increase. And then I can move back down by listening to my body and just drink what I need. So here are a couple of questions to kind of conclude. Common questions we get about the drinks. Number 1, what about kids? Can kids drink these? Yes, of course. Debbie just already told us how young Hector was when he began. My grandson, his name is Jude. He found my wife's bottle. She mixes Sol Vital with Cinemate, and he found it and he grabbed it and he started drinking it. And then he ran off. He actually started running when he was 8 months old, if you can believe it. He was very young to start walking and running around. He ran off, turned around when he got to the other side of the room and came back and grabbed her bottle and drank more. So he immediately recognized his body something he wanted. We let the kids drink as much as they want. They probably won't need as much. But if they are in a situation like Hector was, then they do need to drink a whole packet. They will want to. So many kids have used the Sol drinks now in our first decade that we can tell you with confidence, they're designed to be used at any age, including children. And just watch them, listen to them. They don't usually need as much, but if they want to drink more, there's probably a reason for that. The elderly as well. Sometimes they don't like to drink. That we understand that. So you can put it in less water and they can hurry and drink it down. You can mix the drinks in foods. Cinemate is delicious in Greek yogurt, as an example. So there are a lot of ways that you can have the drink powders, but the elderly, they need it as well, and their bodies will respond. when they have specific needs, they can drink just as much as we do. They might even drink more. I can tell you story after story of elderly, and Debbie could as well, people who have used the drinks in quantity for something specific that they were working on and saw a difference. As long as they match the amount of nutrition to the need that they have. And I believe, and sometimes we just want to pick one drink and just do that. Sometimes it's good to get the whole balance. And maybe we might have more of something and less of something else, but at least we cover all four of the areas. That can sometimes make all the difference in the world. Think of the energy drawings that we showed. Sometimes it's not having more of the same thing, but complementing it with one of the other drinks that will result in the improved energy. People going through hard times, very often they're going to require more, and that's okay. Please don't be afraid. If someone is seeing a result and their body feels like it craves more of the drink, let them do it. I love the way my son figured out his level on SolleMegas. My son Ethan has struggled with Tourette's syndrome. And the way he discovered, he started eating the Omegas, the SolleMegas, and he noticed a difference. He had nervous tics where he would shout and he would like twitch his body. He was so embarrassed that in school, he would never talk because he was afraid he would shout. And this was when he was in 7th grade. And I felt so, my heart just went out to him because he was a very outgoing boy prior to the Tourette's, which didn't come for him until he was around 11. And he started using the SolleMegas. He started with one in the morning and one at night because he was still young. He said, "Dad, I actually noticed a difference." I said, "What did you notice?" He said, "Well, my tics, I can control them more. I can make myself not shout." So then I said, "Why don't you try 2?" So we tried 2 in the morning and 2 at night. After a few days, 3 or 4 days, he said, I noticed it even better. He goes, "I'm going to try 3. I didn't even suggest at this point. This is an 11-year-old. And so then he tried 3 in the morning, 3 at night. He said, "Even better. I'm going to try 4. So then he tried 4 for about a week. And he said, "I didn't notice any difference with 4 from 3. So I said, "Well, then go back down to 3. So he stayed for a long time on 3 in the morning, 3 at night. And now he's now a senior in high school. So that's been 6 years. He only takes 2 at night, 2 Omegas, but he drinks the 4 Soul drinks every day before he goes to school. All 4. He puts all 4 in a Camelback with a couple of cubes of ice. He mixes up and he drinks it down. So I let him judge because he knows how his body feels now. He doesn't need me to tell him because he's recognized what's changed and he decides how much he wants. So we need to not be afraid to use as much as is needed when there's a severe situation. When I travel, this is a picture of, if we move around and travel a lot or really stressful, busy lifestyle, we might want to take more. And that's where we might want to use the transform calendar and make sure we drink all 4 in a day. Or we might be, if we're drinking 2, more of those in the day. That's another very common thing. And finally, I would say changes of seasons. When the seasons change, very often our needs go up, right? And so we can look at the drinks. It's not that I'm saying the other Soul products are less important. They're all equally important to the person who's using them. But the drinks are the core. They're the base. And they're the balancer and the modulator that we add the other things to. They were really designed that way. So here's a couple things that we shared at the convention of how you can combine them. Because some people, they think, what? I'm going to drink 4 drinks every day? Because most people don't drink enough water, right? They just don't. Well, you don't have to. You could combine them and then you don't have to drink as many different things. I like them separately. That's just me. But my wife, she likes to combine them. So here's one example. Excel and Soul Vital together are called Excital. And it's just a funny name. I use this when I went on a bike ride this morning up this mountain by our house. I do that in the morning because usually I have Zooms until late in the evening. and that's where I get my exercise. I always drink Excital if I'm going to do anything physically active because of all the minerals and all the respiratory and oxygenation that it does, et cetera. So this is my favorite. Renew and Soul Vital is called Revital. That's another really good one. I love this one for kids before school because Renew calms them and focuses, like Debbie said. I know that back in the day, Debbie talked to me about, I think, Debbie, you'll have to tell me if I remember this right. I thought I remember you telling me that Hector would drink a Renew before school in the morning too. Am I remembering that right, Deb?
He started to take the Renew when it became available.
Yeah.
He never stopped using the product. But what he did take every morning, he'd put the Cinnamate on his oatmeal and he would take a Omega in the morning and an Omega at night.
Okay, so I think I was remembering that wrong then. So it was the Cinnamate that he always did before school on his oatmeal, and then Omegas. Okay, that's awesome. And at the convention, he right now as a 10-year-old, it's the green one that's his favorite. That might change for him over time. You know, it often does. But this is a great combination too. This is, some people call this one their Zen combination, Cinnamate and Renew. And it sounds interesting because one is lifting and one is calming. But think about an infusion of energy. Cinnamate helps stronger bones. It helps you manage our blood sugar and improve digestion and focus our mind. But Renew is accelerating the body's healing process. It has herbs. One of my favorite herbs in Renew is marl root. Marl root was discovered in Siberia because Russian scientists looked and they saw deer after they either gave birth or the males when they fought. They saw them turning to this plant and eating it to heal. That was sort of how they discovered it. So Renew is one that is a healer and a calmer. And so the combination is kind of interesting. It's Zen is what some people call it. And this is the one, this is my wife's combination. She always drinks these together. She doesn't like Soul Vital separate. She just doesn't like the taste, but she loves these two together. So I used to joke with her. I called it the unholy mix, but it's not unholy. But when we first started, we thought of them separately. But we've learned as they've been used over the years, the different ways that people can use them. And this is my son's drinking that we call it the Soul Bomb. It's just all four of them in a packet for people who don't think that they're going to drink them throughout the day. My personal belief is that if you give your body different times in the day where you get nutrition, you'll do even better. But it's better to have all of the drinks every day rather than to miss. And this is the way my son Ethan likes to drink the Soul Bomb. He's been doing that, as I mentioned, for many years. And we don't have to ask him to do it. He actually chooses that on his own. So that's just a little bit about the drinks. I hope that maybe clarifies for a few why we have them and how to use them. And it is our hope. They were designed from the start to hopefully stay a part of our nutrition. And when they do, there is a building effect over time. And I hope that that can be useful. We can help people improve their lifestyle. Back to you, Debbie.
Thanks, Greg. I love that. Like I said, we're full-time in the RV right now. And so I was trying to find one of my flyers. I must have put it in another folder. But that's why we included the 4 drinks as part of the 4-month program. And, part of my group, thank you for holding that up. Part of my group does the 4-month program. Part of my group in Florida only uses the 4 drinks with the ProBio, the Vertizymes, the Solmegas, the Solflex, and the Adaptable every day. So all of our products are so versatile. You can't pigeonhole any product into one specific use or for one specific organ or problem or situation that your body may be facing. So what I love is that your body will always be looking for balance or homeostasis on a daily level. And you have this gamut of products that you can use. But if you stick with the 4 drinks at least, you're giving your body the very best things that they need every day to look for balance. So I just wanted to thank you for that, Greg. And for those of you who were at convention and heard it, I hope that hearing it a second time made it all that much more clearer for you. I know for me, every time I watch one of these presentations again, it just reminds me of why I love Soul, or how many ways I can use Soul, how many people I can help with Soul products, because it does so much. So thanks again, Greg. I really appreciate that. All righty. So we're going to end our class this week. Like I said, we're not going to do the how bright does your soul shine, but it is going to shine a little bit brighter. I'm going to tell you that I'm changing up the format starting in September for our webinars, and what we will be doing, because we need balance in every area of our lives, right? We need balance also in our businesses. You know that we've been struggling as a group trying to find a night or a day when we can actually talk about the business side of Soul and how to help you with your business. And so what I've decided to do is, starting in September, on the first Wednesday of each month, we will do this webinar that you had today, the one with Greg, and where we'll talk about product, and we'll have the 3 sections, a half an hour class. The second week of each month, the second Wednesday, we will have a follow-up where you can ask questions about the products and the program. And we'll do a question and answer section of webinar that won't be recorded. So you will want to be on there every second week of the month, okay? Then the third Wednesday of the month will be our business class, where we will discuss all things, you know, web page and how to run your Soul business, questions that you may have. And then the fourth week of the month, we will do our personal development and question and answer about the business. I hope that this will answer many of your questions and will help you progress. So I appreciate that.